always. This will be my last video before the big Mobile 1.3 release on the 27th of August. Obviously, there will be plenty to talk about in a few days, but I do have some good stuff to go over now. First, a quick post from the official forums. Kendall wrote, "Loki, tell me something I don't know about 1.3 mobile." Loki's reply, DR added a whole new layer of polish to the left stick jump fly mechanic today that will be in the first post-launch build. Next, a eulogy for Okram. Touching. Leinfors and Loki have both made extended appearances on the Terraria Discord, which is all the more admirable given that I'm mostly relaxing today, really tired, been recovering from some poison ivy. But Leinfors soldiered on and remained for hours to answer your questions. Game Boy Geek Gen 1 Best Gen wrote, "How many new items are there?" Leinfors replied, 1.3 added about 850 new items, though a substantial portion of them are not accessible. They are only in the code. So I'd say the grand total is probably closer to 825 new items in 1.3. Leinfors would go on to elaborate on all of that a moment later with these impressive numbers. 1.2 added 1,000 items. 1.3 added about 850 items. 825-ish more accurately. 1.4 is going to add 800 so far. That's a ton. Thank heavens for free patches. And here's some more information on those inaccessible items. Sometimes an artist will get to work and make a lot of art in a short period of time. And sometimes when you add the art stuff they make, certain parts of that are easy to do all at once. And it's actually not that hard to add them. And then later on you find out we didn't want to use those items. Oddly enough, it's actually messier to remove the items later than it is to accidentally add them. So that is why we sometimes have inaccessible items in the code. Loki, as usual, appeared and took a moment to share a brief gameplay clip. Leinfors briefly defected to Minecraft in his heart. Not gonna lie, those Minecraft bees are hella cute. Big old fat bumbles. This is what they look like if you didn't know. They are pretty adorable. Loki, as usual, shared some video featuring controls. He wrote, "Fresh from the latest dev build, new left stick mechanics. Double swipe tap up will engage flight, and you can move the left stick freely and still reactivate flight by aiming up, as long as you don't let go of the stick. This won't be in the launch version, but it will be in a fast-following post-launch update." The Stafflin man wrote, "Does the development team have any plans after 1.4 launches, Leinfors?" Leinfors answered, "Nothing we are prepared to share right now." Brunin393 wrote, "Leinfors, I can download the update 1.3 at midnight on August 27th? Leinfors' response, "We don't have a time. It's going to vary by time zone anyway." Shifting gears, Loki appeared to discuss pricing. He wrote, "I'll say this though, the game is easily worth $30. Just because we keep the PC cost down on purpose versus rising it to Minecraft prices on PC." Agreed, I got the game actually as it happened through a Steam sale, and I think a Steam sale pricing error because I paid, if I'm recalling correctly, less than $2. Again, maybe a pricing error that Steam honored, and it's actually one of the reasons I ended up buying those Terraria plushies, because I wanted to pay them back a little bit for that discount. Doggy the Dogonite wrote, "I think Loki will play the mobile too. I hope that he will host a server." Leinfors answered, Mobile 1.3 servers are pretty small. We wouldn't be able to do something like Pedguin's PC servers with tons of people. I mean, sacrifices had to be made to make it run well. These are phones after all. And if you haven't heard of Pedguin, he features multiplayer content. You can look him up on YouTube. It's a fairly popular channel. Next, Criddle, a moderator on the Terraria Discord, contributed to the discussion by answering a question about zoom levels. Criddle wrote, "Matthew L., this is how much you can zoom out," and then shared this image. So if you were curious, there you go. And that was Loki's Moonlord boss fight arena from the stream, wasn't it? Speaking of Loki, he wrote, "Just did a 12,000 point pumpkin moon with 6 players. That was crazy. Intent was to test multiplayer in edge case circumstances on a variety of devices." And he shared this image. He also wrote, "I probably got down around to 15 to 20 frames per second just standing with 20 morning woods and maybe 10 pumpkins." So they were testing the frame rate during probably the most extreme events in the game. So I know he's got a good phone, but that's pretty admirable that it didn't just bog down further than that in the worst case scenario. Criddle once again appeared to write, "There is no exact list of what exclusive items will be replaced with what yet. That will be posted on launch." And in response to that, Ilvisevolent wrote, "Now hope for NRLP to record the whole thing about exclusives and all." No promises. If it's a super dry laundry list, I'm not going to recite it, but we'll see. Fox Games 697 wrote, "NRLP is going broke now." I'm considering it. I've seen a lot of comments along these lines, but we'll have to wait and see. I still have to test out my phone's connection to my computer to see how the recording works, but it's looking likely at this point. Jedi Ben Silver wrote, "What are the big differences between 1.3 and 1.34? That's a good question. And we got a good answer from Leinfors, who explained that 1.31 included the mechanical update, lots of new wiring on PC. This included gamepad. With 1.32, we got the party update. It was pretty small, but it added some party decor items and the party event. With 1.33, we got the Desert Sandstorm update. Some new enemies were added to the desert and some new weapons, as well as the Sandstorm event, along with some other random items. With 1.34, we got the Dungeon Defenders 2 Old Ones Army crossover event. They added the Old Ones Army invasion, and the final NPC, the Tavern Keep NPC. Stranger Danger wrote, "Also shout out to NRLP for making the wait a lot easier." Oh, you're welcome. The frick is this? Asked, "A health bar that basically looks dope and shows you the head of the boss on the left." Leinfors reply, "I don't know about mods, but we have a boss bar feature coming." Stranger Danger was back with the question, Leinfors, "Will there be a creative god mode in 1.4? The answer, hard to say. Senix has said some stuff about it, but it's been a little unclear. Silent Assassin X, Leinfors, "Will the controls scale with based on the size of the screen?" Leinfors answer, "You can adjust the size for sure and spread them apart if your screen has extra space." Loki appeared to wrote a ton of launch stuff this week in prep for launch. And so it sounds like we're going to get a state of the game sized update from Loki on the official forums once mobile 1.3 is released. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, because I'm sure there'll be some interesting insights that maybe haven't yet been revealed. Next, some multiplayer chat from Leinfors. The reality is I play almost no multiplayer Terraria with anyone, even my friends. I prefer single player. and I get dozens, hundreds of requests to play with normal players, and I just don't have the time for that, and it's not something I normally do anyway. Full disclosure, I'm the same way. I prefer single player. I don't know what it is about it. I have played plenty of multiplayer games in the past, but Terraria has always had an appeal for single player to me for some reason. More from Leinfors, who wrote, "I don't play much off the clock these days, as I already spend as much as 30 to 40 hours a week playing. When I do, it's normally long-term single-player playthroughs where I try to collect everything, like banner collections." That's a lot. Leinfors discussed how the app will update on August 27th. He wrote, "It won't update mid-play. You'll have to close and update the application." And finally, here's a comment from Loki about post-launch patching. Loki wrote, "Game will launch, and then there is already an update set to go right behind the launch based on work between submission and launch. And then beyond that, no clue. As soon as possible on fixes. Once the fixes calm down, onto controllers and customization." And I'll throw in that he said before that once that's done, they'll start to look at further content patches. And obviously they've made it clear that 1.3 is not going to be the final content patch for mobile. It would seem that 1.4 will at some point make it to mobile. I can't remember if they've been crystal clear on that, but certainly they're looking to 1.3.1 next. Anyway, that's all for now. We're getting super close to the release of mobile 1.3. Thanks to everyone who alerts me on Discord when I'm not there about the developers appearing to chat. I do appreciate you being tipsters in that. So thanks again, and thanks for watching this far. I said at the beginning this would be the final video before the mobile 1.3 patch. Barring some strange circumstances, I think that'll hold true. And so the next time you hear from me, mobile 1.3 will be out. So that's great, right? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.